Spanning more than a decade of close interaction with the president, Abu Mwesigwa's moments with Museveni captures untold stories, behind-the-scenes experiences, and defining moments that paint a more personal picture of President Museveni beyond official engagements and public appearances.
Titled Moments with Mzee.
Unlike conventional presidential memoirs driven by photography, Mwesigwa says his visual reckoning relies entirely on written storytelling using detailed narration.
You can see simplicity of pictures, storytelling pictures, short captions. My story, woven around that of the president, I'm telling the president's story from my experience.
According to Abu Mwesigwa, the book seeks to highlight values of discipline, resilience, sacrifice, and leadership drawn from his personal observations over the years.
I wanted to start with President Museveni, telling my story, but talking about the man, talking about the stories, showcasing pictures that you people rarely see. There are moments that happen around the president that you never get to see. I decided to compile them here for the last 12 years. They are in this book.
He says it was President Museveni's personal discipline, consistency, and lesser-known human side that inspired him to document the experiences captured in Moments with Mzee.
The aspect of humility, about patience, about this gentleman. Felt I needed to tell the world a little more about the president, about Mzee, because I feel I have a little bit of. There's a why I know him, because of my proximity, because of the freedom, the chance he has granted me.
He also recalled some of the most difficult moments encountered during his work around the presidency.
So while in Kasese, I decided to go into the maize garden, film the maize plantation with him in the middle, and shown to me. All I would say in school, no sooner had died. He looked at me, said, well, what's wrong with you?
The publication forwarded by President Museveni is expected to add to the growing documentation of Uganda's political and leadership journey by offering readers an insider perspective. Irene Faith Nantongo, Alvin Kalubi, UBC News.
Beautiful. An insight into Moments with Mzee is the book that we are chewing on this morning. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Coming to you live from the Nile Avenue this Friday morning. Excited to talk about a book. One is because I love reading. I really love reading. And the reason why I love reading is that not only do you interact with another human's experience, but you also get to travel the world through words on a paper. And the fact that for me, when I literally open that book, I literally have a conversation with the author. I jot my questions, my thoughts to the author, even if for the most part, I won't get a chance to talk to them. But for me, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity where I get to speak with the author, that I get to also share my thoughts as I flip through the pages of Moments with Mzee by Abu Mwesigwa. A very good morning. Welcome to the show. Be part of the conversation. 0709-602-592. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jolie.
It's a pleasure having you.
My pleasure too.
All right. And we'll dig straight into it, looking at 12 years of experience. 12 years later, what inspired this project?
12 years and still going.
And still going. Yeah, but of course, it's at the 12-year threshold that the inspiration has been birthed. Yeah. At what point did it start? What nudged you? What scratched you? What rather itched you that you had to scratch it to get relief by delivering this?
Yeah. This 12-year journey so far has been inspired by my passion for photography. I have this deep, deep passion for photography. Now, the photography I mean is putting things on record, documenting work. For me, the idea of photography, yes, pictures are lovely, you know, we put out pictures. Lately now, because of the social media, we take pictures mainly to post, get likes, you know, show trend, and also share what is happening around our lives, but share with the rest of the world. But for me, since day one, I've always been inspired by what is it in the picture? Because the picture is taken for today. Say we are here on set, UBC, this lovely TV. So we take a picture now and we want to prove to people, yes, that we're on set. So it goes on record. But the biggest idea is this picture serves the purpose of tomorrow for the person that didn't see us today to see what really happened the previous day. And for me, that's the idea, the entire idea.
Right.
So putting things on record, but for tomorrow, for the next generation, for the next people. So when I got a chance to walk around a human being that has demonstrated himself as outstanding, I mean, in Uganda, across Africa, across the world, I took it upon myself, very intentional, to ensure that whatever I record of him, I set it on record, archive for the future people, for the future generation. And for me, since day one, that's been my intention.
Lovely, very lovely. Those are some of the pictures that Abu Mwesigwa has taken of the president. It's a book that gives us the experience of a man, from events to a bit of his personal stature, to when he's having foreign delegations and having foreign trips for Uganda, thinking about Uganda, personal moments of reflection. Everything about the president is what this story tells, all in photographs. What a way to tell a story, and a rare one at that. So the fact that 12 years, this is the opportunity that God has availed you, kudos. Did he know that you were working on this project? Was it a surprise for him or to him?
I think it was a bit of a surprise. He didn't know that I was working on a project. I don't think he knew. From way back, about 8 years ago, I've always been, with this mission to record everything. I take every day as new. I don't want to get used, because then you can't get used around Mzee. You just can't get used. This is a different man every day. So every day is a new day. Different prayer for each day. But like I told you, my mission was to record everything around him. Everything. Because for me, I take it as a rare opportunity, and I want to seize it every chance I get. So I've been recording each and every moment, trying to have everything captured.
Right.
So now the idea, again, continued. So I then set out to say, maybe at one point, my grandchildren or my children will do an exhibition.
True.
And tell the world that there was this man, Abu, who recorded pictures of a rare human being, and here they are. So they would do an exhibition and probably make some money. Yeah, so as that was the vision then, at some point about 2017, 18, 19, my colleagues challenged me and said, Abu, you have so many nice pictures. Why don't you think we should do something around them? Should do something about the pictures, make better use of them. See what you can do. So I went out to think, to digest. That's how I came up with, maybe I could collect a picture book, write my story around it. So over time, I showed them Kapo. There's a guy called Kapo, and there's Marjorie, Samantha. There are really some amazing friend of mine called Penelope, Rotajira. So when I showed them, they said, this is a good idea. Please push it on. So I put the book together. And then I shared with a few members of the first family. Madame Natasha, shared with Madame Diana. I showed them the idea, and they were impressed. I showed Mama. She was also, I got feedback that was, she liked the idea. And so until I took the book to Mzee. But now I took a book that was almost ready. What I call a draft for me, but I was taking it to him for approval, but also to write for me a forward and give me a go ahead to publish the book. Yeah, and on a very a morning, at about 7:30, he called me on phone. I was home. And he had read through the book. He had gone through each page. And you people, you see, viewers, when I tell you that Mzee called me, it's not just a rare call. It's not, a usual, casual call like I would call Julie, say, hello, Julie, how are you? No. Receiving a phone call from Mzee. I want to say head of state, but this one is a rare head of state. It's not the usual heads of state, And I want to state it that way without any fear, because he has really showcased himself across the world. He's a rare human being. So when he called me in the morning, I first froze. But then I was very excited. You know, a mixture of, I don't know if you can imagine.
Yes,
the
a mixture of feelings.
Yeah, a
so
mixture of
why?
Feelings. Yeah.
But then I'm excited, looking forward.
I was really excited because I was looking forward.
Yeah.
You know, I'd given him about 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
So he called.
Oh, he responded so fast.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks.
And it was quite busy. You
Given
know, we were
his
towards
schedule.
the swearing in events. And I imagine it was really busy, you know, engaging with different guests that were coming in. And he called me. I received the phone call and I started murmuring. And it made me comfortable.
Didn't you almost fly to State House on foot?
I was home. And you know, when he called me, he said, hello. I said, Mzee, good morning. He said, no, you relax, it's okay. I'm good.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
Teary. So he gave me a go-ahead.
Yes.
You know, he gave me a go-ahead. He thanked me a bit. He appreciated. And he seemed happy.
Right.
He also told me that he was making a pre-order for a number of copies.
Yes,
that he gave out.
He bought for his delegates.
Yeah, for his delegates, for the guests at the swearing-in ceremony. So that's the idea. So it was a bit of a surprise, but I don't think he knew that I was working on the project. But when he got it, he got through. When he got to read through, yeah, he liked the book.
Lovely. We're having an insight into the book, Moments with Mzee. Now, just to paint a picture, well, pun intended, it's not just photos that you're flipping through, but it's a story being told. And to just read the table of contents for you to understand that it's a story, it has first and foremost the foreword, which is by His Excellency, the prologue, then the beginning, then pictures a story that tells him as a freedom fighter, a story that tells him as a statesman, a story that tells him as one who leads with a heart, a story that tells the pearl, a story that tells Uganda's home, a story that tells the golden soils of Uganda, a story that of course talks about Mama, the First Lady, a story of Muzee's heritage, a story of course there in acknowledgements and the after forward. But as human beings, we want to know about people. Who wouldn't want to know about Mzee? Away from the person you watch on TV, just what Abu has shared, the experience of the president calling him, the emotions in there, and Mzee just telling him, no, it's okay. Just imagine, put it into imagination where you are right now. You are watching UBC TV. Moments with Mzee is the book that we are chewing on, and of course we are doing that with the author. This is what the book looks like, so you better go buy a copy and enjoy the story therein. Now, as you thought through the process of, collecting all these pictures, maybe an exhibition, maybe a book, just in between the process of creation, what gaps do you think you intended to fill, especially looking at the political and historical scene of Uganda?
Thank you. For me, this book, I have a lot of pictures. I'll tell people.
Some of them were left out, eh?
So many were left out. On a day, Mzee is very busy. For the last 12 years, Mzee has had so many assignments. And I'll tell you, I repeat again, that all these events are rare. Why I even call it moments is that every bit of what happens around the president never happens again.
Interesting.
Yeah, because these are things that happen and never happen again. Just like we're here today, this moment will not happen again. So now, compiling, putting things together, I intended, one, to try to showcase a little bit, give you a bit of behind the scenes, but also try to put out this human that people have been interacting with as president. Many times campaigning, many times trying to challenge people out of poverty, many times try to get people out of sleep, out of slumber. I wanted to bring out the other a bit of him. Because guys, I will tell you, our viewers, Mzee, for a long time, first of all, he set out to liberate this country. He mobilized a few of his colleagues. They went to Luero, and that's no mean act. No, that's no mean thing.
Yes.
Because, when you are a person of 30, 40, 20, and someone convinces you to go somewhere and take on a thing that is not simple, like overthrowing a government, already that person is no ordinary human being.
Right.
But now, I intended to, pick out every bit, a representation of what someone would, when you go through the book, by the time you go to the last page, you have an idea of who this person is. But also, because he's been here for the last 40 years, very intentional years,
right,
you cannot take him for granted. So I thought that for anybody to think they have an idea about Uganda, the first step is to understand who the leader for the last person, for the last 40 years. And it is very important. Again, this person who has been here for 40 years, what has he done? Because apart from just, liberating the country, but he has stabilized it, expanded the economy, and integrated it with the rest of the world. And many people across the world are come over to seek knowledge. So I intended, to put out pictures, to put out the story, the human side of him, so that, because for me, I'm lucky, I will tell you, I've, been a bit close, where you're in a space where Mzee is, and maybe a visitor, maybe a head of state, and you see how he takes it really personal, to see that he talks from his heart. Even to us, the staff, he has been talking to us, seeing us that, go get out of poverty, talk about Uganda. Every opportunity Mzee gets, he will talk about Uganda as the Pearl of Africa, talk about the different tourism opportunities in the country, and many other things. So in the book, the bits that I'm trying to put together are aspects of each component of all that, so that by the time you go through the book to the end, you have an idea.
Right.
You have an idea.
Very profound at that. You talk about being in his close space every now and again, which is undeniably, because of the mandate of your work, it's something that can't be avoided or taken away from you. An opportunity at that. In which ways has it shaped your personal experience and assumptions you had of him?
Now, for a fact, I really love Mzee. Something I didn't do. I was not in love with him as much. I didn't like him that much before I worked with him.
Right.
Yeah. But it was until I entered that space. I've been telling stories. One time I had a small interview on one of the YouTubers, and I told him about my first experience. The day when I walked in, when they said, "Abu, now come," And then, I tried greeting. Hello, good morning. I don't even remember what I said, But then he didn't. I almost knelt down. And I don't remember him replying me. I don't remember. But it was until later I realized that, you see, greeting and all that is not very important. The idea should be the mission. What have you come to do? If you can't take pictures, do your job. Focus on your job, because the man is busy, and other things. So going back to what you asked me, being around him is a great opportunity, yes, but also quite challenging. Quite challenging. Something you can never get used to, because every day is a new day. New challenges. What starts as a slow day can turn out to be very busy. And
you have to be proactive.
Proactive, sure. What can be like a weekend can look like a Monday for ordinary people, where you are in suits, where you are, working from 7 to late past midnight. And now for my personal self, for the last so many years, at some point I even lost touch with my OBs and friends, and even could not understand me better.
Right.
Because many of them had expectations that when you get into the space of the president, State House, you're going to be loaded with money. Even my relatives, they thought that after just a phone call of, "Hello, Abu, I'm not feeling well," you'd throw them like $1 million or 4 or 3,
hospital fees.
Hospital fees and everything.
Right.
But over time, I think I've turned my life into a wealth creator. I'm not very poor.
Yes.
And that inspiration.
By just being around him.
Just being around him.
Not getting money from him.
Not at all. I'm not going to, just from learning.
Yeah.
From his wide range of knowledge. This person, Mzee, is really has knowledge on a number of things, on biology, on chemistry. Off-head, he will give you figures, statistics. It's really amazing. I always want to repeat. Being around him, even for a day or 5 or a week, you will get changed.
Yeah,
you will get inspired.
True.
So personally, I think I'm living a better life, way better life. And I want to inspire many people, you know, to learn. Also, to pay more attention to what he says. Because for the people that have paid attention, they have learned a lot and their lives have changed. And the best first witnesses should be the people of mainly Western Uganda. Why Western Uganda? The parts of Kiruhura, the parts of Kazo, the part, because those people, he went there first. He taught those people, he educated them, you know, challenged them into farming, modern farming, value addition, and their lives have transformed. Yes, and there are many other leaders that have gotten the chance to interact with him, and I want to believe their lives have been inspired and they have changed.
Indeed.
So myself here, I'm a big testimony, and I know there are many others.
Indeed. Your testimony confirms what I always say, that there is power in association. Not, of course, association for the benefit of cash handouts, but association, just being around someone. That alone is powerful. Good morning. Where do we get the book Moments with Mzee? Good morning, Uganda. Where can we find the book Moments with Mzee, and at how much? I mean, this is a question you'd think should come last, but we always have to defeat time at it. So you might as well answer that right now before we even get into the conversation. So where do we get the book?
So the book is available. The book is at 350,000 Uganda shillings and $100. Maybe, you know, that's the equivalent. Yeah. So the book is available at a restock booklet. The book is available at Mahiri. The book is available at Amazon. The book is also available at the duty-free shops at the Entebbe International Airport. But also we do deliveries.
All right.
You know, on request. And I can give them a number to call.
Yeah, please.
The number is 0755 585758. Yeah, they can call that number and the books will be delivered as, you know,
to where
they are.
Right.
At convenience, yeah.
Indeed, you are watching UBC TV and we're having an insight into the book Moments with Mzee. This is what the book looks like. It's this volume, and because it's photos, I know they say Africans don't want to read, but at least this is readable. Very readable as you dig deep into the story of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, moments captured by Abu Mwesigwa, who is the author of this book. But ask that question, 0709-602592, or share your opinion or anything that's on your mind as we all inspire each other this morning. Now, do you think photography in Uganda, it's something that you hinted on at the start, but now I want you to put it into the perspective of comparison. Do you think photography in Uganda documents history or influences history? And if that gap is wide, how can it be bridged for photography to tell the stories as opposed to just influencing on social media?
So I think we need to encourage more photographers, more people. You know, photography is wide. Everybody actually is a photographer, because photography starts with the mind. And now that we have phones and everything, phones,
even me, I'm a photographer.
People at every given time, people are taking pictures. But I want to encourage people to become more intentional. You know, also to go ahead and caption. Captioning is like name. You know, you name, but also you try to describe the what, when, where, and why about your photos, and that you should embed in the photo for future reference, because it doesn't matter how many number of pictures you have, say on your card, in your phone, if you cannot trace where they are, you know, you cannot retrieve them. It's not as you know, it is not important, because you realize that some people have memory space full of pictures. Someone will even tell you, my phone is full. I don't have any more space for pictures.
And we don't want to buy
space. But also, it is because you're storing so many pictures which you cannot even retrieve. You don't know which one is where. But also, in the pictures, you don't know who is in the pictures. Now, for photographers, when you take pictures, it is important that you know, go ahead and name, use their software tools like Photoshop, where you go and feed in the metadata, file name. So after the file name, you go for the file info. You have to feed in, say, Abu Mwesigwa and Julie on TV on this and such a day discussing about the book Moments with Mzee. That is very important. Why? Because for future reference, people who will be interacting with that picture will have an idea when they go through that kind of information. So the gap that we need to fill right now is getting more intentional. Right. Go on purpose and then, you know, set out to have our everything around our country documented. I've had a number of times talking about this same topic. Uganda by far is not documented. Why? On average. Why? Because when you go into the Google search engine, for example, and you want to search about Uganda, the content that you get, the feedback, what you get as result of the search, a lot of it is funny YouTube videos, politics. That shows that we have not gone out to intentionally document the beautiful things. Because even AI feeds off things that you feed into the internet. True. So as a country, it is our responsibility. We need to go more intentional. Record the beauty, because this country is beautiful. So many things are happening. In fact, I even challenged a bit of politicians. I told them that at one point you don't need to campaign. For example, Mzee shouldn't be campaigning. If we had a picture of, say, Kampala Road, how it looked in 1971 and what it looks like today, I mean, you just put it there, and people should be able to tell the difference, to either ascertain if you've achieved or not. Bring a picture of UBC studio, how it looked in 1980 or 1994, and now, and that's the beauty of documenting work. And that's what we should all set out. To challenge ourselves to do. Even our families, I tell my children a lot of time that, you have to behave, or else Satan will punish you. Then but can I see a picture of Satan? Yeah.
Children can challenge you, yeah? Very interesting. Yeah. Abu, allow me to get into more of the comments that are coming through. Our time is fast spent, and this is a conversation we'd want to have on and on and on, but let's try to collect as much as we can. Good morning, I'm Dennis from Nebi. I love the show. Thank you for watching. Good morning, presenter. We appreciate you for the good work done. Congratulations to Abu for meeting Mzee. All right. Good morning. Let him repeat the price. Signal was disturbing. This is Richard from Serere. You can speak into that.
The book is 350,000. 350,000
Uganda shillings.
And it's a really well done book.
Right.
Big volume. It's a coffee table book. Yeah.
And in case you're using the dollar rate, it's at $100. So whichever purchase rate in which it's at
and it's a world standard book, because it's a book we are selling on Amazon. We are selling in all bookshops across the world.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
Hi,
really
Julie.
Standard.
Hope you are well. Well done. Kindly thank Mr. Mwesigwa for the wonderful inspiration. Kindly ask him to give me an appointment for my son. He is passionate about tech and production, and his club subject, he is telling me, Mommy, take me to Uncle Mwesigwa. This is Catherine from Namugongo. That he has noted that. He'll find a way of getting in touch. Now, are there moments that, well, first and foremost, I'd like for you to paint us a picture, if it's at your display, to paint what you have discovered between the public life of Mzee versus the private life, but also what are those moments that have left an emotional impact on you in just being around him?
Every time, first of all, personally, I get emotional every time I talk about Mzee. And one time, again, ever since we launched a book, I've been having a bit of interactions about the book and, the idea about the book. One time at Powate, we had a meeting. We had a media interaction. So I mentioned something. I said, you see, you can compare this person, Mzee, to people like Jesus. Then someone said, no, you cannot, you can't do that. I said, no, look, Jesus, as far as we know, actually talked about Jesus and Prophet Muhammad. But then I say, this one said, you can't compare him. I said, no, but you see, Jesus at the time where he was born, they were looking at him and saying, this son of a carpenter. What is he saying? Right. And the man was calling himself a son of God. They said, no, please. So it was until later when the man died and resurrected. And then he opened the palms and said, you see, I'm the one. And then before they knew, the man was already ascending to heaven. And the time was nowhere. So we have a chance as a country, as people. We are living around with a person that is extraordinary. He has done amazing things.
And he's still alive.
And he's still here.
Yeah.
And beyond that, he's gone ahead to open up his heart, to speak from the bottom of the heart, to tell the world what he feels you can do, or what people can do to transform their lives, to change their lives. And a lot of people don't paying attention. So for me personally, one time when Rakitura, after taking pictures, I went there, tried to see how I can get a chance to, talk to him. Then he said, okay, Abu, what I say? Told him, hey, you see. Then before I could even put up my things which I had cooked in my head, he told me, where are you, Bakuzalawa? So I told him, I'm from Kajansi. Oh, I remember. But now are you really Kajansi there? Is there even land? So he told me that for me to take myself as a serious human being, I need to focus and to create wealth. So he challenged me to go and start commercial agriculture. I'm his staff, but he has chosen to talk to me about the personal life, how I can empower myself and make myself better. So he challenged me to go and start something for myself or for my family, so that after time, your children will need survival.
True.
You need to have a base. So go do something about yourself. Said Mzee, yes. And even offered to support me. So from that day, I went and opened up, bought some land in Gomba Kabula Soke, set up a farm, planted coffee, got some goats.
And right now you're in the agro-industrialization, the commercial agriculture.
That's why I can confidently
the money
say,
economy.
Yeah, that's why I can confidently say that I'm not very poor.
Lovely.
But also just learning from the discipline, the consistency with, Mzee is someone who will talk about something today, repeat it tomorrow, the next day, next month. The consistency, the discipline, the hygiene, the humility.
Right.
When you look at his home and the way he dresses,
a lot to
there's
learn
so much to learn from.
Indeed.
So I'm really,
It's such an opportunity.
Yeah,
right. Allow me. We have to close this, Abu, because time is such an enemy. But my singer has just got in touch, and she says on the studio line, and she says, "Good morning. Just tuned. Naye. Moyo Mr. Abu Mwesigwa, I've listened to him recently. Ne Mama Kabeyi. Atenga nachagala nnyo. I even have that number." This is my Aunt Millie. Thank you so much for watching. As we close this, Abu, in just less than a minute or a second, what are your parting shots? What are your closing remarks?
I want to really thank Mzee so much for liberating this country, for integrating the economy, for expanding the economy and integrating it to the rest of the world. But also I want to appreciate the First Family and Afande Saleh for the humility. I also want to appreciate, before that, I should have started with God, because really God has given me chance to be here and given all of us opportunity to, go into different spaces. I also want to appreciate my family so much, my wife, my children, and my sister, Lukia, and my brother. And my family, they've really, really been there for me all these years.
Indeed.
And I'm really grateful so much.
Lovely moments with Mzee in photographs and untold stories of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Go get yourself a copy or place that order. The number to call is 0755 585758. That's right.
Sure.
That's the number to call. Place that order and you'll get the detail of how the book can be delivered to you, because deliveries can also be made. $100 or 350,000 Uganda shillings. We close it here, and up next is another artist here on Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition.